today, the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, has sued Coinbase, alleging that it has acted as an unregistered exchange and broker of certain assets. And this is literally just one day after the SEC sued Binance for the same thing. Essentially, the SEC is alleging that these crypto exchanges, Coinbase and Binance, allowed its users to buy and sell certain assets they are referring to as securities when they were not registered to act as an exchange or platform for securities to be bought and sold through. And these assets the SEC is referring to as securities are essentially what most refer to as altcoins. So the most commonly known ones on the list I saw were Cardano and Solana. And while the SEC is definitely correct that Coinbase and Binance allows users to trade these assets, because they do, the question, or I guess the gray area, really is whether these assets really would be considered securities. And beyond that, whether Coinbase and Binance should be charged for acting as quote-unquote unregistered exchanges for allowing the trading of these so-called securities. Because the truth is, Coinbase and Binance are probably the two biggest crypto exchanges in the US, but there are tons more. And so if you are suing these two platforms for this, well, as many others have pointed out, you would basically have to sue every crypto platform in the US for this, since almost all crypto platforms in the US allow you to trade altcoins. And I don't know what it takes to be considered a so-called registered exchange of securities, but my guess is that none of these crypto platforms would qualify as registered in the eyes of the SEC. And so a lot of people have been very much up in arms about this, and I totally agree with them. Many are accusing the SEC of seeking a total eradication of crypto exchanges in the US. And this is really how it has seemed. You know, while virtually every other first world country, including even China, is embracing crypto, the US is constantly trying to maybe not hold it down, but prevent its citizens from investing in it. And because of that, you could say that, yeah, maybe the US is actually trying to hold down crypto in its country. It would seem that the US would rather their citizens invest in their own banks rather than crypto, since this would benefit the US government as a whole more than if its citizens just invested in crypto. Which, I don't know, to me just shouts corruption. You know, trying to limit what your own citizens can invest in by crippling crypto exchanges under the facade that, oh, you're trying to make sure that these crypto exchanges are following the rules, when in all reality you just want your citizens to keep their money in the US banks. That's just fraud, greed, and corruption at its clearest definition. At least that's my opinion. I mean, just look at what the SEC demanded happen to Coinbase as a result of this lawsuit. Okay, so in this lawsuit, in the writing of it, the SEC demanded that Coinbase be, quote, permanently restrained and enjoyed, end quote. Basically gotten rid of completely, or at least just in the US. What an absolute joke, okay? You don't want anything less than total elimination of maybe the biggest crypto exchange in the US. I'm sorry, I'm a proud American, okay, but this is pathetic. It could not be more obvious how the SEC is corrupt, basically, and only wanting its citizens to invest in U.S. banks. You know, just keep all of us in the Stone Age while the rest of the world prospers. What a joke. Binance, which, like I said, was sued yesterday, said in a statement that, quote, the SEC seeks a near eradication of our industry. And I have to agree with them that is absolutely what it seems. It sounds like some Coinbase executives and administrators are going to a congressional hearing today to talk about crypto regulation, so hopefully that goes well. What I am hoping is that now that Coinbase is being sued, now that they are kind of on board this party, and because Coinbase is a giant exchange, what I'm hoping is that these crypto exchanges, they basically band together, like the Avengers, and fight back, politically. And already with Coinbase going to the congressional hearing today, it sounds like just that is starting to happen. In the short run, these exchanges will no doubt feel some pain, and in fact, that is already happening. Coinbase's stock has already dropped 20%. But in the long run, and I hope I'm not wrong here, but I really do think that since the SEC is poking Coinbase now, these crypto exchanges will retaliate and force some heavy counter lawsuits on the SEC that will result in regulation clarities. It would seem that every first world country besides the US is embracing crypto, so it's time the SEC is finally pressured to stop holding its citizens back and allow them to do the same.